Eagle, proud symbol of our country, keep on flying high up above, and together we will stand and we'll restore the land. Oh, Eagle, keep on flying, Eagle.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle. We're live in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm your host and a Mick County Farm Bureau agent, Landon Moore, along with Mr. P.J. Weeks and Mr. Paul Lott. Mr. Paul, we've since I was on the show last, I got an opportunity to go to up north Mississippi and be a part of Rain Down Ministries. I know they've been on the show a couple times. They're fixing to be on here in just a minute. But let me just take a second to say it is mind-boggling at what they've got going on up there. It is the ministry that they have going on up there with these kids is phenomenal, and I can't put into words how great it is. It's like nothing you've ever seen. I watched kids walk into that refuge camp that were very timid, very kids that were almost, I don't want to say they were scared, but they were just they weren't just shy though. At the same time, they were very sheltered and could hardly talk to other kids and adults. And by the end of the week, we were up there. We were up there for 3 days. And by the end of the time, I watched some of these kids praying out loud, killing their first deer. We saw several first kills, and it was just phenomenal. PJ Weeks is joining us from Rain Down Ministries. We've had him on the show a couple times already. PJ, glad to have you with us again, brother.
Hey, Landon, glad to be back with you. I hate I'm not hearing old Jax beside you tonight.
Hey, man, he thinks you hung the world. Mr. Paul, Mr. PJ, while we were up there, Jax killed a really big 9-point. And while we were up there, he feels like Mr. PJ put that deer there for him. So he's got to return the favor by taking Mr. PJ on a pig hunt. So he is all fired up about that, isn't he, PJ?
Yes, sir. Hey, I'm excited. I get the master pig hunter himself.
I'm scared to say it, but I created a monster in him by carrying him as much as I have. He is just all of it. He told me the other day, he said, well, I done killed 5 deer this year and 3 hogs. I'm just ready for turkey season. And I'm like, goodness gracious, kid. Like, let me take a break. Before we talk about turkey hunting, it'll be here before you know it, So.
That's right. And nobody ever stops to ask you, hey, Landon, have you hunted any this year?
Yeah, I've literally killed 1 deer this year. 1 deer.
Yeah.
And that was like the second week of October. So I haven't had time to do.
That's what I told you the other day. I said, whether you know it or not, you're running a refuge hunting camp there in Amite County, because all I see is you taking kids and you quickly realize that the joy comes from sharing what we got to do when we grew up, growing up.
I got to carry Blaze Saturday.
Probably 3 years and hadn't hunted a whole lot. I really hadn't hunted at all by myself. But, man, you never look up and go, man, I wish I got to hunt. The reality is our joy comes from seeing these kids and seeing these fathers and sons and families enjoying what God gave us to enjoy.
That's exactly right. Well, I was pretty tired when we left Rain Down the other night, other evening. I was ready to get back to Amite County. I'm not gonna lie. Plus, I mean, what was it, like 8 degrees one night we were up there?
Yeah, it was crazy cold.
It was crazy.
I can tell you, it was cold enough at the camp that in the lodge we had a group there right before you guys got there, and they had the water running and the heat on, and with the water running and the heat on, the pipe still froze.
Yep.
It was literally 8 degrees, 9 degrees, just a few days before you got there.
Right.
And can I tell that miracle story of the water real quick? Do you have just a second to tell that?
Yeah, you got a little over a minute and a half.
It's incredible. So the pipe froze, and we were deciding whether we were still going to be able to pull off the camp for you guys. In the group.
The week that we were coming.
From, North Carolina and Ripley and all over. You guys are coming from Amite County, and we were really deciding, hey, are we going to be able to pull this off with no water? And we said, no, we've been doing this, for this many years. We've never canceled the camp no matter what, and this is going to be an opportunity for God to show that he's God and that we're not. And so we literally, I know it sounds crazy to a lot of listeners, but we had everybody we knew praying that we'd have water. And so sure enough, when we got there, we did get water to the sink. If you remember when you got there, to the sink in the kitchen.
That's right.
And when you guys got there, it was 25 degrees.
Yeah.
25 degrees. So it didn't get above freezing until that Sunday. And you guys left on Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there telling you guys that, hey, we do have water. We had 5-gallon buckets by the toilets, if you'll remember.
Yep.
But we're not going to have showers. We're not going to have hot water. We're really just not going to have any of that. But thank God that we have water, and this was an opportunity for God to show himself as God. And if you'll remember, when I got done with that, and we broke and we were going to the range, my dad said, hey, I just heard the water, break loose in the pipes.
Yeah.
And literally within 5 minutes of me saying that, we had hot water and water running in every shower, in every toilet, every sink, in the whole property.
Yep, that's the truth. Well, look, we got to go to break, PJ. Just hang with us. We're coming right back. Y'all give us a call at 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you're C-Spire customer. We're live in Jackson, Mississippi. Y'all hang with us. We'll be right back.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle. We are live in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm Landon Moore, along with Mr. Paul Ott and along with Mr. PJ Weeks with Rain Down Ministries. PJ, when we were on the break, we were talking, and you and I had talked earlier today. This is y'all's Veterans Week at Rain Down at the camp, or Patriots Week, you called it, right?
Yeah, this week is Patriots Camp, and Friday we will have 9 combat veterans with their kiddos coming into camp, and it gives them just a weekend with their kids and an opportunity for their kids to spend time with their dad.
That's
and
right.
to hunt. And the veterans, just the combat veterans that we work with, they just love it. They love the time with their families. A lot of phenomenal organizations are doing some incredible things for our veterans, but we had a couple organizations come and say, hey, not many people are doing stuff for the veterans and their families, and they love the spiritual side of what we're doing. And so they just said, can you partner with us and let's pull this off at least once a year? And we're really praying about what it looks like to do it, more. But with our scheduling right now, we can really only do it one camp a year.
Right.
But it's awesome. Absolutely.
PJ, tell the story about the veteran and his kid. Try to describe the way the kid the way he acted before y'all got in the ride to go get on the stand. Explain to everybody that story. I just love that story.
Yeah, well, and I don't pretend to know what a veteran, particularly a combat veteran, goes through in their, when they come back home and those types of things. But I do know that they love time with their kiddos, and they have spent a lot of time away from their kiddos, and that was the organization that we work with. Their main thing is, our guys need time with their kiddos. So long story short, this guy comes to camp with his son, and his son walks in, and his son's 14 years old. It's pretty obvious that there's a disconnect there, that not all guys are like this. This is not generalities. This is this one particular situation. So I don't want people to think I'm talking about all of that.
No.
But there was a certain disconnect here that it was pretty obvious that this 14-year-old boy didn't really know his dad, and that his dad loved his son, but he really didn't even know how to connect to him.
Yeah, it probably had a miserable car ride the whole way there.
Yeah, most likely, yes. It's a daddy trying to love his son and wants to connect with him, but a son that just disconnected. And it was obvious that he wasn't just disconnected from his dad, but in a lot of ways disconnected from the world. He was a lost soul, if you will, not just spiritually speaking, but he was just looking for his place in the world.
Right.
14 years old need a lot of guidance and direction. So we go through our orientation, and we're going through these things, and how we draw for the stands, and I happen to be the one that's going to be carrying this father and son to the stand, and it was just them in my truck, and so I'm talking to the guy, and you know how I am, I'm a talker,
Right.
and I said, so where'd you serve? And he started telling me. He said, I was in all these things. This is what I did, and he said I was on the first group that went into Baghdad. All right. And so in my mind, I'm remembering, Fox News, all the things that are happening and watching all these things happen. And I said, so you were on that crew that went in? He said, yeah, I was on the crew that went in there. And then after that, I was over a polling station, and a lady comes in the polling station with a huge dress on, and she blew herself up. And I was wounded in combat when she blew herself up.
Mm.
And I remember him telling me,
Did I
Are we
lose you,
there?
PJ?
No, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. We lost Mr. Paul. Continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. I remember him telling me at the end of the camp, and I'm going to jump here just a minute because this is so vitally important. I remember him telling me, he said, PJ, I can't go in public. He said, I don't get to go on dates with my wife. I don't get to spend time with my kids going to the movies because before I walk in a room or a restaurant or a store, I see every entrance and every exit, every window. I size up every person in the room. I know the biggest man, the smallest man, the lady with the largest dress, the lady, he said, I live with that constant looking around me. He
Right.
said, but coming here and being here with my brothers in arms, if you will, other combat vets with their kids, he said, I don't have to worry about any of that.
He was able to let go for probably the first time in a long time,
Oh
right?
my gosh, it was incredible because he was telling war stories, with
Yeah.
his buddies there,
Right.
buddies that he met.
PJ,
But
hang tight.
Go
We
ahead.
got to go to break. We're coming right back. Y'all, this is PJ Weeks with Rain Down Ministries. Y'all stay with us and give us a call at 1-800-251-5891.
Paul Ott's The Day of the Lord CD-DVD combo set is our free gift to you and your family. The Day of the Lord includes songs like I Am That I Am, Don't Cry for Me, and They Could Not Stop His Love, as well as special sermons by Tom Lester, Dr. Larry LeBlanc, and others. Paul's special holy visits and the printed Don't Cry for Me poster are also included. Get yours by calling 1-800-684-9486 or by letter to New Day of the Lord Ministries Foundation, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle. We're live in Jackson, Mississippi. We have myself, Landon Moore, along with PJ Weeks and Mr. Paul Ott. Y'all give us a call at 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you see Spire customer. PJ, pick right back up where we left off. We're talking about the father and son and just the story that you told at the camp that just really touched me. You got all the time in the world, man. You got 9 minutes.
Good deal. Well, this particular combat veteran was just disconnected, as we said, from his son, and wanted to connect and wanted to love on him, but there was just an obvious disconnect. And he had obviously been through a lot. And on the way to the stand, I was asking him, "What did you do? And what part did you play here?" And he was telling me he was in that first run in Baghdad, and then he was blown up in a voting booth, and that he couldn't spend time in public a whole lot because of the way, he had to watch everything. He just, he still deals with that.
Right.
So we were going to the stand, and I was asking those questions. He was telling me those stories, and I don't know what happened, but something clicked in his son, and his son started asking him. The only thing I heard was his son saying, "Daddy," and when he called him Daddy, I knew there was something going on there. He said, "Daddy, I didn't know that." He said, "You were where?" And he started telling him. He said, "You did what?" And he started telling him. And then he started asking questions.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing his dad had never given him much information, which is understandable.
Sure.
Every kid's different, and these guys have seen things that we can't fathom. And I know they have to be careful about saying those things. And so he opened up to the point that on the way back, when they got out of the camp, the man walks up to me, and this is a tough guy, and he had a big crocodile tear in his eyes. And he said, PJ, I don't know how to tell you this, and I don't want to cry, but I want to tell you this is the best afternoon I've spent with my son since I can remember.
Wow.
Because they were able to sit in the deer stand and talk. I don't even remember if they saw a deer, but they were able to sit in the deer stand and talk. And I watched them for the next day or so. They were just visited, and they talked. And it was incredible to see. And it wasn't because of the hunting camp. It wasn't because of anything Rain Down.
You just gave them an opportunity to him to let go a little bit, and for his son to feel, brave enough to ask his dad a question, and it just,
That's exactly right.
It met, and it was just phenomenal. I just love that story. When you told that to me the other day, it just, man, it sent chills down me, because I've never felt that way. I could pick the phone up right now and call and ask my daddy anything in this world, and now I may get yelled at for certain things I asked him, but no, I've never feared that I would ask the wrong question, where as I'm sure he did because of all his dad had been through,
That's exactly right. Oh, that's exactly right. And, that's not counsel on how you need to share this or that. That's just that personal story.
That's right.
And we really get that a lot. The one thing we get from the combat veterans when they come into camp with their kiddos is how little time they had spent with their kiddos and how valuable it was to them.
Sure.
Time after time after time, it really quickly becomes, it's not about killing a deer. They get excited, of course, when their kid kills a deer, but it's the whole thing.
Right.
It's the time. It's the Bible studies. It's the fellowship with other brothers. It's the skeet shooting that we do, and all of the whole program. They just enjoy it. They love it.
PJ, we've got a caller, Mark and Laurel, that has a question for you. Mr. Mark, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Doing good, man. We're blessed beyond measures. What can you got a question for Mr. PJ?
Yeah, well, I'm blessed beyond measure too, but I just have a question. This ministry sounds great, and the only question I had is it possible that I could bring my adult children, or is it just, or first come, first serve thing, or how does that work?
Yeah, Mr. Mark, and it is great to you have a great question. Usually are we there?
Yes, you go ahead. We having a little issues, but you still good?
No, that's okay. We usually, our cutoff for age is 18 years old. And so they'll run from, 10 years old to 18 years old, and then they age out of being able to come to the camp. It really just depends on time and land available, as we're always looking for more land to lease and opportunity to hunt more hunters. Right now, we don't do adults. We just do those. We sell a couple of hunts a year as fundraisers, and then they, then an adult can come, and usually the adults bring their kids. But unfortunately, right now, we just do up to 18 years old.
Right. PJ, we lost Mr. Mark there, but I know he's still listening. I've given it out before, PJ, so I know you don't mind. I'll give it out again, Mr. Mark, if you don't have a pen handy. But I'm going to give out PJ's number is 601-344-8777. His name is PJ Weeks, and like I said, I'll give that number out again before the show's over with, so y'all stay tuned and listen to us. But yeah, PJ, you and I talked. I don't know what God has in store for Southwest Mississippi. This, I think it would be marvelous to have one down our area, PJ, because we could draw in such a different group from besides the ones you do as well.
That's exactly right, and that's really where we are, and we're in a learning phase. We've only been doing this really, really running hard a couple of years, and what we're realizing is the demand is much greater than the supply, but the supply, God's supply, is always there. So we're looking, what does it look like to have a chapters and have, we would, a big dream would be to have a refuge hunting camp in every county in Mississippi.
Oh, yeah.
All 82 counties, because I believe and we believe that every child needs the opportunity to grow up learning God's design for hunting and conservation.
Yeah.
We've got some phenomenal organizations that are supportive with the NRA Foundation. I know here Mr. David Chancellor does a great job, but, and those are all over the state, and they're supportive of all of these things that we're doing. So God's got some great things in store.
Absolutely. Absolutely. PJ, hang with us. Stay with us through another break if you don't mind. We got to go to break here. Y'all give us a call at 1-800-251-5891 or pound 444 if you see Cyrus customers. Y'all hang with us. We'll be right back.
Legendary entertainer Paul Ott brings you his greatest hits. Get them all in this special CD-DVD combo set, including Old Blue,
Many and a many of an early morn.
I Am Mississippi,
I am everything good you have ever dreamed about.
Right Arm of America, and many more. To order, visit listentotheeagle.com or send $20 check or money order to Paul Ott's Greatest Hits, Box 219, Summit, Mississippi 39666.
Welcome back to Listen to the Eagle. We're live in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm your host, Landon Moore, along with Mr. Paul Ott, Mr. P.J. Weeks. We have been talking about Rain Down Ministries, but I got to take a quick second real here, and I got to meet one of my new good buddies today, y'all. Mr. Paul, PJ, I met a kid by the name of Mr. Chase Elston. Chase, I know you're listening to me out there. I just found out you were, and you got mad at me because I wasn't talking back to you on the radio. So it was good to meet you today, buddy, and behave yourself. PJ, so we've been talking about about where Rain Down is and what Rain Down's doing. Tell me where you see Rain Down going. Where would you love to see Rain Down going? You said possibly a hunting camp in each county, but I mean, what are the near goals, the short-term goals?
Well, there's a couple of things. There's really two things. The one is right in front of us, that we know that just to be able to sustain what we're doing now, we're going to need more property. So we're looking for leases, primarily right now in the North Mississippi area, but we're willing to have conversations with anybody about leasing property. And we really would like, we don't have to have a long-term lease, but we really would like that opportunity because we do manage the property. We are very serious about managing the property. And the other road of that is teaching other guys kind of how to do what we do year round, not just the property managing, but how to keep up with the kiddos year round. And that's going to have to be on a local level. We've always said, no matter how quote unquote, I don't like this term, but big we may get, we exist for that one kid in that one community. In every town, in every county. And so we're looking at how can we teach other guys to do this with a sportsman's challenge, with the Bible studies, we want it to be a program that's year-round kids can connect with through their local churches, through their communities. And so we're looking at chapters, in every county have a chapter, or it has to be regional right now, where they're constantly connected to it, being a part of it. And it's not just about one deer hunt a year.
Right. When I think of chapters, when we're talking about this subject, I think of NWTF. Well, the only, really moneymaker that I can think of for the NWTF, or the biggest one for sure, is the banquets. Talk about your banquet, PJ. Talk about what it does for you for Rain Down, and when is it and where is it?
Yeah, we have one banquet a year right now, and we would love to have more. We have a goal this year of having at least two.
Yeah.
So somebody else across Mississippi saying, I'll do a banquet. But it's kind of like the NWTF. Honestly, we learned from Mr. David Chance and the Friends of NRA banquet. And there's a great meal, but it's based around the fellowship and the faith. We have a testimony, usually a combat veteran or somebody giving a testimony about growing up in our camps and what that means. We have live auction, silent auction, raffles, door prizes. It's a night people around Jones County look forward to, and we get comments about all year long.
All right,
and
when are those dates, PJ?
It's this year. It'll be in September. I hate to say I don't have it right in front of me, but I think it's September 22nd.
Okay, that's fine.
It's on a Tuesday night.
Okay.
It's usually always on a Tuesday night. It'll be in September. We sell banquet tables and sponsorships. That's really our primary point of income for the camps, to be able to do all that we do. That's why we're kind of spreading it out some.
Mr. Paul, that sounds like something you and I need to load up and go to.
I'm ready.
Guys, we've got to
good.
go. PJ, thank you for joining us. It's been a great show. Mr. Paul, thank you for joining us as well.
Yeah.
We appreciate all you listeners being with us. PJ, Mr. Paul, I'm going to start the Lord's Prayer, and y'all join in with me. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, thou on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, guys.
Thank y'all. We love y'all.